Hey, this is Kirk Duncan, and welcome to our webinar here tonight. Our webinar. This is my webinar tonight, and really great to be here with you tonight. Going to be sharing with you some great training about being a coach, being an empath, helping people in the world, and we're going to look below the surface of what it takes to have a successful 2022, even with all the crazy things that are going on in the world. So if you're excited for tonight's training, click the raise the hand button there at the bottom of your screen or wherever your toolbar is. You know where your Zoom toolbar is? There's this little hand. Oh, there you go. Lots of you have found it. That also tells me my microphone is working well. Super good. And as always, I have packed this full of great insight tonight. I try to trim it down, but it just doesn't trim down. I take things off, I put things back on, I change things, I try to make it shorter, and then it gets longer. So hang in there with me as I take you on a journey here tonight and be able to show and tell some great information that's going to help you in your progress on your journey, what you're doing. All right, who do we have here jumping in the chat box already? Hi, Lillian. I'm saying hi back to you too. Good to have you here. So yeah, there's a chat box in your toolbar, and you're welcome to jump on there and add some comments. And also there is a Q&A box. I guess it's not really a box. I always say box. On my end, it's a box. But on your toolbar, there's a Q&A. Desiree from Hawaii, what are you doing watching? Man, that's awesome. St. George, got people from all over the place. That's awesome. Saratoga Springs. So anyway, my ADD just caught on for a moment. So there's also a Q&A button on your Zoom toolbar, and you are welcome to post questions, and I will do my best to look at them as I'm going and answer those questions as I'm going through the training here. Sometimes I can't get to all of them because I'm watching the clock and I can't keep you here till midnight. And so I'm kind of moving through the material. So I will do my best. But yeah, you can use that Q&A box. Okay, so we're going to get started here in just a moment. Right off, I just want to just point out, I haven't turned on my video yet just because I don't want that to be distracting. I just want to show this picture that you see here on the screen. And we all get this, right? It's an iceberg. And we all know that what is above the surface is smaller than what is below the surface. And you probably have seen people use this as some kind of teaching prop or teaching image to get a point across about whatever the topic is that they're talking about. But I agree with this. I agree that this is a great way to consider what's happening in my life. Whatever I can see that's going on around me, that means that there's a lot going on underneath the surface. Now, what do I mean by this underneath the surface? Okay, so my eyes point outward, right? Underneath the surface would be underneath my skin, right? So all of this underneath here is what's going on underneath my skin or deep in my thoughts. And that's where we're going to go tonight. I'm going to talk about how if you knew more about what was going on underneath the surface, you could actually have better control of your life. And here's the big part. Better control of the outcome, the results. Until you figure out what's under the surface in you, in your life, you're going to try to operate, try to be successful, try to have your relationships be better, try to do everything better with just this surface amount, which is a small percentage compared to what's under the surface. So using this analogy, you have more of you that is underneath the surface. And we're going to touch on that tonight. I'm going to walk you through this and show you what to look at, what to pay attention to. Because if you're not paying attention to what's underneath the surface, oh man, you are in a world of hurt, and the direction the world's going, you are going to be in a world of pain. So let's get into this tonight. Welcome. My name's Kirk Duncan. Tonight we're talking about being an entrepreneurial empath and how to make this year 2022 great. The year is more than half over, but it doesn't mean that we need to settle for where we're at. We can definitely be successful even in the way that the world is today. So where's my camera at? Now I can click my camera. Hey, what's up? I'm coming to you from my office here. And I love technology. I love coaching. I love training. I've been doing this for 17 years. I absolutely love sharing what I've learned over the last 17 years of teaching seminars, workshops, keynote presentations, especially because where I came from, and you'll hear that in a little bit, but I love doing this because I know I can help. I know I can make a difference because I've seen it happen so many times. Tonight, it's your turn. Tonight, I'm going to deliver some incredible insight to you that I hope you take action on because it's going to work for you just like it has worked for me. But let's get a little serious here and talk about what's going on in the world. To solve problems, we need people who can see and find the root problems. And those people are empaths. Now, you're on this training tonight. Either you're an empath or an intuitive or an entrepreneur, or you just thought this looked interesting, and so you thought you'd click the button and register. Either way, you're here. And so I'm going to be talking about how we, in the way that we are, how we can make a difference in other people's lives. And right now, there's more challenges than ever. I have a ton of these screenshots that I've taken of just different clips from the news, different videos I've watched, and I could pack screen after screen after screen of all the insane things that are going on in the world. And we see this, right? You see this on your phone, you see it on your TV, you see all these things that are going on. But what we don't see is what's going on inside other people's homes. That's what we don't see. We don't see really how stressed people are. We really don't. We kind of get maybe an idea. Maybe we see some of our neighbors, maybe they say some things, but people do a really good job. I'm going to go back to this, of keeping under the surface what's really going on. You know how everybody has a front. They always have this, polite, engaging way of meeting people, but they don't really uncover what's going on under the surface. So if we look at this diagram, this picture, is that there is more going on under the surface than above the surface. So if you meet someone and they're acting a certain way, that tells you there's more going on underneath their skin that they're not talking about. And that can be adults, that can be kids. And when nobody's looking, they let their guard down. And then they start to deal with it or wrestle with it. And so right now in the world, because people already have been conditioned to cover up or to put below the surface a lot of their thoughts and their feelings, it's going to put a lot of people into a world of hurt as time goes along, because the more we hide underneath the surface, what we're really feeling, what we're really going through, what happens is it begins to weigh heavily upon us. Heavy emotions, stress, and those things. Those are not some, light as a feather feelings. The more you have catastrophic thinking and fear and afraid and scared and nervous inside of you, it gets heavy. And that can sink a person into depression. All different kinds of things can happen. Anxiousness, depression, feeling of worthlessness, feeling of incapable, and just literally can't do anything. Adults are being affected by this, this, and also kids are being affected by this, and even down to the 5-year-olds, the 4-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, the 6-year-olds, even the little kids have a lot going on right now. It's really sad, and it's terrible to talk about this. I can't believe that these kind of things are happening, but the rate of people choosing death by suicide has gone up, and we all know that. We're not paying a close attention to it, but it has gone up. It's moved into the elderly, and it's moved into the little kids. And I just heard yesterday a person who lives in a town, and they were talking about how in their town they had a 6-year-old and a 10-year-old who chose death by suicide. And it's like, what is going on? Like, this is it. It's getting worse, and I'm all about doing something about it, but I can't do it all by myself. It's like, if we all could just look at what's going on around us and wonder, how can we help? What can we do? What kind of messages could we spread? What kind of support could we really give out there? And so here's the thing. When we talk to people, all we see is this up here at the top. In fact, let me just put this on here. This will help just kind of block things out. Is that when we talk to people or we see people, we see these kids, we see these adults, and what happens is we see them and they put on a pretty good, front that everything's fine. And that's all our eyes see, is this surface of them, like, oh, they're fine. But what we need to do, we need to open up our eyes and look for what's underneath, what's going on underneath. Part of being a solution to your friends and family around you and being of support is not to be just captivated by what's on the outside surface of people and how they're acting, but literally to be looking underneath and going, okay, what's going on with this teenager? What's going on with this 10-year-old? Like, look for it. If we don't look to how to help others, we're going to have a lot more casualties start to happen, and it's going to escalate. Now, I'm not putting the responsibility on you or the burden on you, but I think, sometimes we can't reach our own kids and we hope somebody else can get to them. Sometimes we can't reach our own spouse and we hope somebody else will talk to them and help them. But here's the first thing I want you to write down on your paper. What you see going on with a person is just the surface. So let's shorten that. What you see is just the surface. Look for what's going on underneath. Look for it. When we look, we're going to find. And then you're going to wonder, well, what do you do after you find it? Well, tonight I'm going to give you some insight of how to help people, what to do to make a difference. Like, we get to be actively engaged in helping people, not just passively be surface viewers. We need to be active, because if you're like me and you're here on this webinar tonight, which means you are like me, then you have some bones inside you. You have a heart inside of you that wants to serve people and help people. That part's obvious because you blocked off some time to be here. So you're like me. And if you're not actively participating in helping others in whatever way you can, well, I hope tonight moves you to be more interested and take a step forward to go, wow, maybe my neighbor does need somebody to talk to him. Maybe that teenager I know and that other family needs somebody to give them a boost because they're struggling. There's all kinds of things moving through their head, all kinds of experiences happening. They feel stuck. They don't care. They don't feel motivated. They wonder what's wrong with them. This is becoming more prevalent, and it's spreading through the people. And yet, I'm going to keep coming back to this. On the surface, they act like everything's fine, but underneath, they're struggling. And so if we look underneath, we could find all kinds of these things. People are overwhelmed, stressed parents, struggling entrepreneurs, depression, suicide, the feelings of, and the actual lack of being able to provide, arguing and fighting going on in people's homes, but then they act like everything's fine when they're around people. People's homes are messy. They can't keep up. They can't keep them clean. Men are imploding, teens losing themselves, women maxed out, stressed, sad, overwhelmed, goal seekers giving up on their goals, people are hiding, living below their potentials, fragmented couples, identity confusion, loss of motivation. And we could just keep going and going and going. Now, I'm not saying all this to like start this training out like, woe is us. What I'm saying is, wow, where are us? Where are we? I mean, with technology today, we can reach people. Like right now, I'm doing a webinar. You could do a webinar. You could do a Facebook Live. You could do an Instagram Live. You could do a social media post. You could be putting messages out there to move people, to help people, to encourage people. Really, if you really see what's going on, you will get very active because you're not falling for just the surface of what's going on out there with people. You're diving in to go, yeah, I know there's something under the surface and I'm going to do something about it. Right. And I know you probably are like, well, I don't know, Kirk. I don't know if I could do something like that. My words don't matter. That's what I thought too. I thought there's nothing Kirk Duncan could do. There's nothing I could do to make a difference in the world. And there really is. There really is something we can do. It's amazing what one voice can do to a child, to a teenager, to an individual. One voice, one comment, the right words, the right sentence makes a difference. So here's a short list of what people are going through, but here's what's happening. People have been going along fine, but a lot of world events have really cranked on people's thinking, and they've stuffed it down inside of them, which is now pushing them down to the bottom into the red zone. Fear, anxiety, worry about the future and what's going on with all of the threats happening in the world. And so these people are actually needing help, looking for help, but they don't know who they're actually looking for. They don't know who they're looking for, but they're starting to figure out they need somebody to talk to. They need somebody to work with to help get them out of this pit. And you know who they're looking for? They're looking for people like you and me, where we have a gift or a talent or a skill or an education that we could pass on to them to help them with where they're struggling. And I know one of the reasons why you're here tonight is because you have a particular gift or talent that you could use to help people. Maybe you're using it, maybe you're not using it, but I figure if you're here, you got something about you that can make a difference in people's lives. So these people who are at the bottom or heading towards the bottom, they're wondering like, what am I going to do? And when they hit bottom, they really are looking like, does anybody notice me? Does anybody even notice that I'm struggling? This person wonders if anybody can see that they're struggling. And if nobody's paying attention, nobody asks questions. That's why they start to give up at the bottom. And so that's why I say we get to be the kind of people that goes, wait a minute, what's going on below the surface with you? You okay? What's happening? And we don't have to have the answers for everything, but we can at least be watching. There are people in your family, there are people around you, there's people in your neighborhood, there's people in your community, your church group, there's people at work that they literally are on the way down, or they're halfway down, or they are down here at the bottom, and they're acting like everything's fine. I encourage you to open your eyes and really ask yourself, is this person okay? And if you see something that gives you the signal that they're not, from tonight's training, I hope you have a little bit more courage to say something and care. Because literally you, because if I can make a difference in people's lives, and I'm Kirk Duncan from Lander, Wyoming, I'm like a normal dude, right? I'm a normal guy, but I just started opening my mouth and helping people. And now for 17 years, I've been helping people, and I've been watching for these people, because I know if they can go down, they also can go up. Because if they can fall down this trip, they can go up this too. They just need somebody to help them know how to turn. And that's what you can do, if you believe it or not, or ever even considered that thought, is that people anywhere along here, if they just had somebody who would notice them, and just had somebody who could see beyond the surface, there are small things we can do to be able to turn them and help them start to come back out of it. I want to make sure that I am someone who's looking. I'm somebody who cares. That way I can go to bed at night feeling like I'm doing my job for humanity, that I helped somebody today. I looked for them, I found them, and I did something today. You know how you want purpose in your life? I can tell you how to get purpose in your life. Look for somebody to help tomorrow. Or maybe even before you go to bed. Like, who is it that you know that's struggling, that you can sense and feel, that you could text them? You could text them and give them a little bit of motivation before they go to bed tonight. Or just let them know that you care. You and I can make a difference if we activate our eyes and we actually look for what's underneath the surface. Part of being a great intuitive and part of being a great empath is you don't just get dazzled by the surface. You are looking under the surface for what's going on with people. You're stretching your skill to find out what's going on with this person that I could help. What could I do to be able to turn them? I want to be able to make this a difference in their life today. How can I keep them from falling all the way down in the pit and have them scoot over here and start working their way back up? Just so you know, 80% of people have no idea what personal development is. 8 out of 10 people have no idea. They've heard about it, but they have no idea how it works. I don't know if you get on social media and it looks like everybody knows about personal development. No, it's 8 out of 10 people have no clue how personal development works. And you're sitting here knowing something. I bet you know something about it. Something you could do to be able to help motivate you, help boost you. And so if you know something, well, you're ahead of the rest of the pack. You're part of the 20%, 10 to 20% who actually know something about it. So the other 8 out of 10 people, when they crash or mentally or emotionally crash, they crash. And honestly, you want to really look at this? This down here is just populated, totally populated with people who just don't know what to do. And literally, they're struggling. They have no idea. So whatever small thing you know, whatever amount you know, even your own motivation, even your own, belief in a better day can help another person. It's not like everybody's using personal development because they don't know what it is. That's a big assumption by people who are in personal development, is they think everybody else knows what's going on. I'm not kidding. I was in a group of people recently, and there was probably about 40 people in the room. And I brought up a personal development technique and nobody knew what I was talking about. And this room had professors, had engineers, and they had no idea what I was talking about. And they were like, "What is that?" And I said, "It's a personal development technique." And they're like, "What does that do?" And I said, "It helps you in being able to focus and believe in yourself and do better." And they're like, "What?" Like, they didn't even know. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I keep being shocked, because I thought when I got into personal development, I thought, oh, everybody knows about this. They don't. So if you know something, you could make a difference in people's lives. And I know you're busy. Yeah, you got lots of things going on, but those special moments that happen when you're talking to somebody and you have this moment, you're like, wait a minute, should I look to see if I could help, or should I just not look because I'm just tired, I'm busy? Well, what happens is, if you don't use your intuition gift on people, do you know that it dries up? It goes weak. If you don't use your intuition gift to serve people, it goes weak. It's a muscle. It goes weak. The more you use your intuitive side, your empathic side, the way in which you tune into people, the more you use it, you get better and better and better and more accurate, more accurate. And I'm telling you what, the way the world's going, you want to be as dialed in as possible in interacting with people and using your intuition and your gifts to be able to work with people and be around people. You don't want your gift to go weak on you, or you're going to wish, like in about a year from now, you're going to wish so bad you had been exercising that intuitive gift you have to understand people, to listen to people, to process people, to problem solve with people. Like, you're going to wish you would have exercised it. So in the world today, like, well, let's just say tomorrow, you look for an opportunity to use and exercise your gift. And don't worry, there's plenty of people to work with, plenty of people to practice on. And don't worry, you can't mess people up. That's the devil talking to you. You know that. If the devil tells you not to help somebody, well, if you hear a voice in your head, or if you hear a voice outside of your head talking to your head, and it says don't help them, obviously that's the devil. I mean, obviously that's him trying to get you to weaken your gift. Okay, there's a great need for more people to step up and help others. You can see where I'm going with this. Okay, so why you, right? Why you? Why are we talking to you tonight? Why am I talking to you? The thought has crossed your mind to help others. That's why you're here, because you've had the thought to help others. The other thing is, you feel like your life has more purpose to it than what you are currently doing. And it's true. It does have more purpose. It feels like there's a calling in your life to get involved with helping others solve problems. Yeah, there's a potential inside you that maybe has been touched upon, but maybe not fully activated. And also, here's another reason why you're here tonight, is because you have a gift. And if you're like, what's a gift? Well, it's a special ability that gives you an advantage of understanding people. That's what you do, is you can understand people beyond what normal people can do. You're a little different. You're a little different than the common person. So you and I are different. And when we're in a group of people, we kind of stand out. If they ask us our opinion, or if they want us to participate in a conversation, we think differently. We see things differently. It doesn't make us the oddball. It makes us actually the one who's going to open up other people's minds. You know what I'm talking about. So you're here because of 1, 2, 3, or 4 of these reasons that are on the screen. And it's good because I'm here to help put you together. That's my plan. That's what I've been thinking about the last couple of days. I'm like, how can I help you get your act together? Because you know you need help, right? You know, click the raise the hand button if you know what I'm talking about. You need some help pulling your act together, right? Like you got stuff about you, right? There's things about you, but it's just like, man, if you could just pull it together, imagine what you could do, right? You could like follow that impression to help people. You could start that coaching business or start that in-home business to follow your dreams. But this is the thing right here. This is what happens. Watch this. Watch. People try to put their life together. Watch. They try to put their life together with all these pieces, and they try, and they get about this close, but then the pieces kind of drift. They kind of drift. It's like, what's up? How come there's not really sticking? Now hear me on this. I have coached people every week for 17 years, anywhere from millionaires down to teenagers, even a youth class I used to teach. Here's what I've learned about the human being. If they leave the gift out of the puzzle, the pieces don't stick together. They just don't stick together. So I watch people go to school. I watch them learn skills. I hear them, they have plans. And they really feel good about having plans, and they're working on their people skills and what steps they're going to take this week. And they're really trying hard with what they have. And they think they get it together, and then, oh, bam, a piece falls out, or bam, the steps don't work out. And they're like, Kirk, how come it doesn't hold together? I said, this is why. Do you see this gift you have that's inside you that you just are avoiding using? That's what needs to be put in first. And then everything else is built around it. Because that's your thing. This is your thing. That's your thing. That's what you do. That's how you can really excel in your life. That's the thing that's going to make this year, next year amazing, is your gift and talent. And if you're like, Kirk, I don't know what mine is. Well, I'm just going to guess right now, you're either an intuitive or an empath. You're one of those, or close to that. And there's some other things around that, but you're to work with people. That's your thing. And you have a gift to work with people. And as long as you avoid this, as long as you want to like deny it and stick it over in the corner, like, oh, I just don't want to do that. And you're like, but you're trying to pull your life together. Just remember this. Kirk said so, that as long as your gift is in the corner or over wherever, good luck putting your pieces together. They won't stick. Maybe for like a couple of months, maybe even for half of a year. But then one little thing and bam, 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 they just all pop out. And you're like, oh, that was such hard work. I can't believe this. But then this little voice is going to say in your head, remember what Kirk said? Kirk said, put your gift in there first. Focus on your gift. Focus on what you've been created to do. That's the thing. Focus on what you've been created to do, the gift to use to help people. I'm telling you, I'm showing you, it's what makes everything stick. Believe me, I've had my own experiences with this, and I've watched so many people try to do this backwards. They try to put this piece in last because it's like, oh. But I tell them, I go, no. We need to activate this gift. It's deep down inside you. You've tried covering it up. You tried avoiding it. And it's like, but Kirk, I don't know how to use it. I know. That's why I'm here. That's my calling in life. Help others use their gift. Help them understand their gift. Help them use their gift to change other people's lives. That's my calling. I'm not kidding. This is my thing, my charge. God gave me the direction. He says, you need to help people find their gifts, use their gift, and get out there and help people. It's like, yes, sir. Let's go. And so this is what I've been doing for 17 years. Helping people recognize what's inside them that they don't want to look at, uncovering all the debris and trash off of the gift, and then putting it in place and activating it. And guess what happens to that person's life? You're right. It becomes amazing because it's now they've got their priorities straight. You see, when you put your gift at the bottom and it's the last thing, your priorities are not in order. All that other stuff, extra. If the last thing you decide to activate in your life is your gift to use towards people, to serve people, you're going to feel scattered all along the way. Every month, every year, you're wondering like, oh, there's something else I'm supposed to do. I don't know what it is. And then here comes Kirk tonight saying, oh, by the way, you have a gift you're not using. Let's get it out. Let's clean it off. Let's put new batteries in it. Let's turn it on and let's activate it. And that gift is to be used to help people. You came to earth with that gift, specifically to help others. And I don't care if you're an introvert. I don't care if you're an introvert. I don't care if you're broke. I don't care if you have no education. I don't care if you don't have any skill. We start with your gift. That's where we start. We got to find it, get it out, start using it, and watch your life come together. Okay, here's what you don't tell people. You don't know how to get started. That's why you hide your gift. You're putting this off and you've been doing this for quite a while. You don't tell people that. You just kind of like let it just kind of scoot by. You're flying under the radar, hoping not to get noticed, trying not to stand out, that you are different than others. You go to bed knowing there's more that you could do, but who are you to think that you could make a difference? I know it's that whole imposter syndrome thing, and the devil likes to like stir that up in your head to make you feel like you can't do anything, like you're supposed to be some college, university, special class graduate before you can do anything in the world. I know the methods of the devil. He wants to just ruin people who have gifts. He wants you to stick that gift down in the dirt and just kick rocks on it. He doesn't want you to use it. He wants you to make you feel like you have to be qualified to use a gift. No. You know how you start using the gift? You look at people and you go, all right, I can see what's on the surface. What's going on underneath? That's how you start. You start looking. And remember, there's not too far to look to find people who are struggling. It's everywhere. Everybody's struggling. And then nobody's talking about it. It's like the biggest cover up ever. It's like everybody's struggling with something, but they act like, oh, let's talk about the weather and how's the kids and what'd you do last weekend? All this surface conversation, but yet on the deep end, they're like really struggling. All right. I hope you're getting this. I care about your gift. And that's my job, is to find it and help you see it and help you start to activate this before you die, before you waste another month hiding your gift. Like, come on. But now I get it though. I get it. I'm going to be the first one to confess. Now, let me tell you why I'm going to confess is because I hid my gift. So, I can totally, I totally get it. I hid my gift for years. I just felt like I was different. I didn't want people to like, whenever I was in a group and people would ask me what my opinion was or my input, it was always so different than everybody else's. And I would get these looks from people like, what planet are you from? Like, I felt like the oddball all the time. But then later they would find out that my point of view was valuable. So, but I was always different in the way that I thought. And so I did the same thing. I hid my gift. I pushed it down. I tried to build my life with all these pieces. And I tried, and it didn't. And then I finally, God got a hold of me and shook me and it was like, wake up, Duncan. And he showed me where to put this gift and activate it. And it's like, oh, you're kidding. And then he said, get this. God said, go help people. What? I'm like, wait a minute. Did you forget? I'm from Lander, Wyoming. And when I went to school, I was terrible at school. I got bad grades. I didn't do very well in school. And I always wondered what's up with my brain because it was just always felt like it was glitched. I mean, I'm like, God, you got the wrong person. I'm like so far off the path of being qualified. And he's like, Kirk, you have a gift. Go help people. Oh, you're kidding. You are kidding. And he wasn't kidding. Go help people. And I truly did not know what to do. I didn't know what class to take. I didn't know who to get trained by. I just started, and I'm going to point to it. I started looking under the surface in people. And some people thought that was weird. Like, why are you looking at what's wrong with me? I go, because I'm going to help you. And they're like, what can you do? What's your credentials? I don't have any. They go, well, what school did you go to qualify you to help me? I didn't. I'm just a high school graduate. And then the person would say, well, why should I listen to you? how many people have you worked with? And I said, 4. And they would just like look at me like I'm like that's illegal. It's illegal to care. It's so weird. It is so weird that it's like, for some reason, it's like it's like it's not appropriate and it's illegal to like care about people enough that you look beyond the surface. Like if you're here, it's like, oh, that's legal. That's appropriate. But as soon as I started looking underneath the surface, people are like, can you do this? Yeah. Are you a therapist? It's like, why do I have to be a therapist to care about your problem? You have a problem. Let me help you. Well, you have to be a trained therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm your neighbor. I have to have a certificate to talk to you about your teenager? Are you serious? And I've just been blown away what people have been programmed to think. It's like everybody's paralyzed and petrified to help each other. Oh, you have to have this and you can't even talk to each other. It's like we are so freaking brainwashed. We are so freaking brainwashed. We can't even help each other. Even now, after I've done coaching for 17 years, people will say, so what are your certificates? And I'm like, I don't have any. Why do I have to have certificates? Well, you have to before you can talk to me. I'm like, no, you have a problem and you don't know how to fix it. Are you a therapist? No. Are you a counselor? No. Well, how can you help me? Because I care. And I have a gift I can help you with. And sometimes I wish God would like send out emails with certificates so we could just like hold it up and say certified by God. But it doesn't work that way. It just doesn't work that way. And so, but it's so weird how people are so brainwashed and programmed that they won't let anybody help unless they are do I dare say professional? I'm like, why can't I be your neighbor and help you? Why can't I be your friend? So that makes sense why there's so many problems. And why people are not asking each other for help is because we're all pre-programmed that we can't ask each other for help. We have to go set an appointment with somebody in some big office building. It's like, what in the world? It's what's messed up about humanity right now. And I've been coaching for 17 years and I still run into people who still throw this at me. And it's like, okay, all right, let's talk about this. It's like, I can help. It's okay. I can help. I'm a neighbor. And doesn't God say that in the good book? Doesn't he say, love your neighbor? But does it say love your neighbor, but don't ask him questions? Is that what it says? No, that's not what it says. It says love your neighbor, right? Love them. So what does that mean? Love them and eat their cookies and don't help them? No, it's not what it means. It's nuts. So back for me, I was, struggling in school, whatnot. I get older. Let me just tell you my journey really quick. I got older, found a girl, got married, and I thought all of my glitchy thinking would just magically go away as I became an adult. But all my glitchy thinking came with me. My scatteredness, my ability not to focus, and my strange behavior of listening closely to people and hearing how I could help them. But my own life had problems. I was stuck in some weird patterns, like money issues, time management issues. I was struggling a lot. I finally got dragged to a seminar. My wife dragged me because I was having a bunch of challenges and we were having lots of challenges. And at this class, they brought something up I've never heard before. Never have heard before. What they brought up was there's a conscious and a subconscious. I was like, what? Maybe they taught me this in school. Maybe I missed that day. I don't know. But here I'm married and I've got all these problems. And then they bring this, I'm in this seminar in Salt Lake City, paid $900 for this 3-day seminar. when they talk about there's this conscious and the subconscious in our head. And conscious is where we're present and we have conversations, observations, we engage with people, is our input system. But our subconscious is where all of our patterns come from because they were programmed from the past. And this blew my mind. I was like, what? What do you mean? So again, this is my story, right? This is pre-Kirk being a coach. This is before I was ever a coach, before I ever taught seminars. This is my struggle story. But I had this massive aha moment of there's the difference between a conscious and a subconscious. And I was like, what? And they said the consciousness is a very small part of who you are, but the subconscious is this really big part. And immediately I thought of an iceberg. I'm like, oh, you mean like there's a little bit on top, but there's a bunch more under the surface? And they're like, yeah, your subconscious is like that. It's got a bunch underneath, and that's what controls you. I was like, what? Controls me? And they said, yeah, this is your control center. I was like, no, I make decisions. And they laughed at me. They said, no, you don't make decisions. You make some decisions, but really ultimately all your big final pattern, habits, behavior decisions have already been made. Your subconscious controls you and you keep reliving patterns over and over and over again. And immediately I thought of the fact that I was broke. I had no money. And I said, you're trying to tell me that the reason why I'm broke is because of a subconscious pattern. And they said, yeah. I said, no, I'm broke because I don't have a good job. And they said, no. They said, no, you'll continue to be broke because of subconscious patterns. And I was like, what? Are you serious? And they were blowing my mind. I was like, what? This is crazy. Are you serious? And they're like, yeah, your subconscious is super powerful. It's more powerful than your consciousness because your subconscious puts your consciousness to sleep. I was like, what? Oh, man, you got me on that one. You're right. And it says, yeah, your subconscious puts your consciousness to sleep and then wakes it up. It decides when you're going to fall asleep and when you're going to wake up. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. And they said, yeah, until you figure out how to change your subconscious, you won't change. That was the magical statement. Until I learn how to change the subconscious, I won't change. That got my attention. Man, they had me. I was like learning. I was like, teach me what this is about. I'm new. I'm kind of a new guy at this. And I figure everybody else already knew this. I thought everybody in the world knew this except for me. So since I felt behind, I got to work and I started using different techniques to change my subconscious patterns. That's what I did. Is I'm like, wow, I'm super far behind. I got to catch up to the rest of the human race. And so I started using these subconscious techniques so I could change my subconscious so I could do better. And I was a maniac with it. I was just like diligent. I was like every day focusing on it like crazy. And I started to change. It wasn't like overnight. It wasn't like in a week or two, but I started having different results because that's what happens is your results come from what's in your subconscious. The final results come from what's in your subconscious. And I was freaking out. I was like, are you serious? And I started seeing things change. And I'm like, I am going to do this for the rest of my life. Like I am going to just change whatever I want. And I just went after it. And people thought I was nuts. Seriously, they thought I was crazy, man. Because they're like, why are you doing this? I'm like, because it works. And they're like, well, I don't know. That's kind of like most people don't do that. And I was like, yeah, I noticed. Now that I've been doing it for a while, I've been trying to tell people because I thought everybody was doing this, but I quickly found out like nobody was doing this. And I'm like, wait, I thought I was behind. And it then caught my attention that I was different again. And I'm doing all these subconscious techniques to change my life and improve my life. And And people were trying to tell me it didn't work, but it was working. And I kept going, I kept going, I kept going. And then they saw the change. They saw me being different. They saw me, my lifestyle changing. And then people asked, what are you doing? So when they started asking what I'm doing, I told them, I said, hey, there's stuff in your past that were kind of glitchy. And that past stuff comes forward and you kind of do the same glitchy things over and over again, like you're caught in a pattern. And I said, but you can change the pattern. You can keep the past from repeating. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah. And so I started teaching them how to keep the past in the past, and also how to reconcile the past so that these don't come forward and mess up where I'm going. That's called self-sabotage, is when your past comes forward and messes you up again. That's called self-sabotage. When your past comes forward, the pattern of your past comes forward and plays out again, and you have the same problem again, just different people, different time, but same problem. And I was like, I don't want to self-sabotage anymore. I want to be done with this. So then I learned the subconscious techniques of how to reduce self-sabotage. And because these they reduced down to tiny stuff, I could move past those and achieve what I wanted. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is so stinking amazing. And it's like, why doesn't everybody do this? What's up with people? How come they don't do this? And I would try telling people, like, you got to do this, you got to do this. And some people still thought I was flaky. And they're like, what is this even doing, Kirk? And I said, well, you see, in your neural pathways inside your mind, you're destined with a particular way of thinking. And let's say you are getting $1,000 a month, but you wish you could get $10,000 a month. You can actually reroute your mind. You can actually reroute your mind. And so that the route that it was on, the new behaviors and actions, this becomes the new result. You can reroute your mind. And people are like, it sounds like you need a therapist for that. I'm like, you don't need a therapist to do this. And they're like, I don't know. That kind of sounds weird. I'm just going to stay with what I've got. And I'm like, all right, you stay where you're at. But then there were people who started to listen to me, and they started doing what I was doing. And then they started getting results too. And then they went and told their friends. And it was like, wait a minute, I'm just Kirk Duncan. What is going on? And before I knew it, we had people gathering together to go teach us. And I'm like, you want to hear this crazy cool stuff that works? And they're like, yeah, teach us. And so then I started teaching bigger classes and seminars. And then I started teaching a seminar every single month, had 800 to 1,000 people in it every single month, every single year. I'm not kidding. We're teaching anywhere between 17 live 3-day seminars a year, up to 35 events. 17 to 35 events, depending on what year it was, what we were doing. Tons of people from all over the country, out of the country, flying in for Kirk Duncan to teach them. And it's like, wait a minute, what is going on? Are you serious? And my gift was waking up even more and more. I could teach people how to understand each other. I could teach people how to read each other, how to read their body language, how to read their intentions, how to help people, how to understand people. And the classes were just happening every month. Beautiful, just absolutely exciting. But it was blowing my mind that I'm producing all these different programs and all these different classes. And it's like, wait a second. Wait, I got to go back. It was this. This was the missing piece. You're kidding. I needed to put this piece in and then get training. That's what happened. The gift I was avoiding, I finally surrendered. I was like, all right, God, I'll stick the gift in there. You think I can do something? All right, I'll try to help people. And then I went to a class and I learned. about subconscious, and then I learned about techniques, and I learned about my past, my present, my future. I learned about neural pathways and how you can change and direct things. And then it just clicked one day. It just clicked. We are taught as people to work hard to get our results. Everybody says it. Oh, you want to get good results? You have to work hard. That's what everybody promotes. From generation to generation, parents tell their kids all the time, you just need to work hard if you want to be successful. But along the way, in the last couple of years, it's made more sense that, oh, well, you need to work hard and get a good education. That's the next level of advice. That's how you do it. And then in the last couple of years, it's been even stronger that people are saying, oh, you need to work hard and get an education. Oh, and the new thing on the street is personality traits. You got to understand people if you're going to be successful. That's what the gig is. That's what people tell people all the time. You need to know yourself and know others, and you need to have education. You need to work hard. But the truth is, where all of this comes from is what's right here. This is the thing that changes everything. It changes everything. This right here, bam, subconscious mindset. That's what happens. It's right there. If it doesn't change in your mind, it don't change on the outside. It just doesn't. You like that language? You like that grammar? If it don't change on the inside, it's not changing on the outside. And I know I'm making sense to you. Tell me if I'm making sense. Give me a raise of hands or put a comment in the chat box if I'm making sense. True? True. Making sense, right? It's like, and here's the question. What are you spending your time on? You know what you're spending your time on? Even if you've learned personal development, guess what? You're still brainwashed. You're still brainwashed to go here. Oh, wait, I'll give you this much. You've been getting an education, but you're still working every minute of every day, thinking you're going to get ahead because you're brainwashed. I'm not going to talk about what brainwashed you. I'm just going to tell you we're brainwashed to believe we just need to work all the time. But I got to tell you, less than 1.7% of people do this over here. Less than 1.7. That means 2 out of 100 people are doing what's over here where the arrow is. 2 out of 100. Are you one of those 2? Are you consistently using mindset techniques to change your results? Are you really doing this? Are you dedicated to changing the patterns in your subconscious? And if you are, or at least if you're even interested, you're the kind of person I want to hang around, because I love teaching people how this works. And remember, I'm a high school graduate, but man, have I learned a lot over the last 17 years and the training classes I took before those 17 years that I've been having my own coaching and training business. It's amazing what we can do with our life. This is it. Bing, 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 bing. And so check in, gut check. If you're not really dedicating time in the morning and in the evening on your mindset, it's not going to change no matter how hard you work, no matter how many classes you take, no matter how good you think your people skills are. And oh, by the way, this one too. Where's your gift? You hiding it or you got it out? You're using it. Okay. All right. So good to know, right? Good story about where I've come from. So vision boards. I don't know if you have one. That is the thing of all things right now. The devil's trying to crush people's visualization on the inside of their mind. Just so you know, the devil's out there just really ruining people's brains when it comes to the ability to visualize. So if I were you, I would practice visualization, learn everything you can about visualization, how it works, why it works, what do you do to make it happen? What do you do? Because everything that's happened to me, all these classes, being on TV, all the times of being on TV, all these results have come from visualization. Visualization is my number one when it comes to functions of the mind that I go to make things happen. And if I'm not using my visualization, everything slows down. It's such an on-off dimmer switch of how this works. So with everything that I've learned, everything I've done in training and teaching classes, building classes and seminars, this is what I have. I'm serious. I'm a high school graduate. If I can do this and impact people, you can do this. You take your gift and you put it in the middle and you activate it. And then you get training and then you activate your mindset. So gift, training, mindset, gift, training, mindset. That's what you do. I'm not kidding. I'm a normal Joe. You see me in the grocery store. I've got a t-shirt and shorts on and flip-flops. I'm a normal guy. But man, my mind has been opened. And my mind has opened because I went looking. I went looking on how can I help others? How can I help them? And that's where I started looking, seeking, searching. What's going on with them? What are their challenges? What are their problems? What's happening? How can I help them get out of this? How can I help them get over this? How can I help them get through this? How can I do that? And that's what's on my mind constantly is how can I help this person? How can I help this couple? How can I help this marriage? How can I help this teenager, this individual? How can I help? Now, I have found that I have empath tendencies. And that's been a wake up for me. That's just been a huge wake up. It's like, what? There was a person in the class one time who said, "Hey, I think you're an empath." And I was like, "What's an empath?" And they said, "No, you're an intuitive." And I said, "What's an intuitive?" And they said, "Well, you can kind of figure people out." And I said, "Well, I this is what I do. I listen. I try to sense how the person is. I try to understand. I want to problem solve. I care about their emotions, their thoughts, their relationships, what kind of systems are in their life, like what they're doing and how I can help them. What can I teach them how to do?" I go, I guess if that all means I'm an empath, all right, I'll take that on. I'm an intuitive. All right, that's cool. I guess we got a name for it now. So if you're somebody who finds yourself listening, sensing, you have a way of being quick at understanding people or love problem solving or emotional work or thought work, relationship balancing or system building or skill training, you got any of that going on in you or want to have that going on with you, we're going to call that a gift. There's something special behind that list. There's certain things that you are really good at that maybe you haven't quite claimed yet. And that's something I would write down if I were you. Right now in your notes, claim that you can do a particular thing with people, whatever that is. If you're a good listener, claim it. Like, I'm a good listener. If you're good at sensing people, say, I'm good at listening or sensing people. If you're good at problem solving, claim it. Because as all the times that you've discounted it, you've crushed it. And it's not going to function very well. You got to breathe life into your gift. That means you got to speak goodness into your gift. Claim to yourself what it is you can do to reinforce it in your subconscious, so your subconscious will activate the gift. Every time I meet somebody who says, "Oh, my gift doesn't work," I'm like, "Yeah, because you're busting it into pieces." "Oh, no, I don't do that." "Yes, you do. Who else is going to bust it in pieces? Nobody else even knows about it. It's you." And see, people forget that they're the ones ruining it. They just forget that along the way, they just discount themselves. And then they're like, "Gosh, I wonder why my gift doesn't work." It's like, you devalued it over years. So now breathe value into it. That's what you do. Claim it. talk nice about it, get it active. So in my experience of my awakening to my intuitive side and my empath side, there's some things I've learned about myself. And maybe you found the same thing too. I can sense what other people are feeling. Can you do that too? Has that happened to you? Or sense what caused the feeling? Like what came together to cause that person to feel that way? I can sense what to do to solve or correct what has happened. Like it comes to me. It's like weird, but it's cool. It's way cool. I can see how to solve the problem that the person's facing. Once I hear the problem, it's like, oh, here's an idea. It's just that comes to me naturally. I can sense how a person's past is affecting their potential. Crazy enough, but reading body language came naturally. Did it happen to you too? I mean, do you see things or kind of pick up on things when people are moving and doing their body language stuff? Like, can you pick up on what that is? Some of us who are empaths can, some can't, but you can develop that. I love teaching people about body language because it's so helpful, so helpful. I also found that I can understand people quickly and accurately. And to some people, it seems like I'm the oddball, like I'm wrong, but then they find out, no, Kirk actually was on with that. And so I've learned that I'm different, and most of the group is going to discount me until time goes by, and then they're like, "Oh, that's right, Kirk was on to something." It's just because I'm different, the way I see things, the way I hear things, the way I ponder on things. And I'll say it again. I'm going to say it probably 20 more times. Is that the reason why this has happened to me is because I started looking under the surface. And if you start doing that too, you're going to go down a journey. Go on this journey of discovery of your gift if you get past the surface with people. If you get past the surface. Okay, so I share this with you because, there's could be a really good chance that you have this empath side to you. So I'm going to just kind of fly through some of these empath points. Empath comes from the word empathy, which is the ability to understand the experiences and feelings of others outside of your own perspective. Like you could listen to somebody and understand, but you weren't there and you've never done that before, but you can understand. I think that's cool. That's kind of tiny. But so is it rare to be an empath? Yeah, you're like 1 out of 100, okay, maybe even more. Sensing the feelings of others, great listeners, great trouble solvers. What other thing makes you this rare trait like super powerful is that you can be an expert in human psychology and you've never taken a psychology class in your life. But if you do, it really amps you up. But you naturally can be good at psychology if you decide to plug your gift in and use it and serve people starting now. So it's super cool what you can do. Empaths tend to be very sensitive to people's emotions and energy. What is energy? Energy is attitude. Every person gives off an attitude, which is a vibration. And another word they call that is energy. And really what it is, it's attitude. Attitude, mood. Really, if you want to know, it's information. So energy is information. Empaths have a tendency to take on emotions of others, and that's dangerous. Because if you take on other people's emotions, you can actually get very cluttered inside your personal space and inside your body and inside your mind. And you can actually feel very scattered because you are actually taking on other people's information and you don't even know it. So I tend to do really well coaching empaths about how to manage their life better and also coaching empaths to become life coaches. Because I think every empath ought to become a life coach or a counselor or a therapist or whatever, but just some kind of teacher. But if they're going to talk to me, I'm definitely going to nudge that empath or intuitive to become a coach. That way you're helping people with their subconscious. You're helping them with where change really, really happens. Anyway, back to empaths. You need to be careful because you could end up taking on people's other energy and you literally feel weird. Like you can't think because you got everybody else's stuff inside you. So, and I'll show you a screen in just a little bit to help you with that, to understand that a little bit better. You also could experience some toxic empathy where you over-identify with another person and you take on too much and you take on too much of their pain, too much of their yucky stuff, and then you can't get rid of it. So empaths actually need training on how to use their gift. Like I said, that's my charge in life is I help people learn their gifts and talents, how to use them and how to use them to serve people. But if you don't manage your empath gift, you could have some really big struggles with it. So it's a cool thing because it's a gift you've been given, but you got to learn how to manage it or it can get out of control. Okay, so personal space. Let's just walk through a couple of things here. This is your personal space. See the person, see the circle, that's personal space. So anytime I talk about personal space, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes people's personal space is huge, like this, because it changes depending on how the person is and who the person is. And sometimes personal space is like this, super, super tiny. And so just know that personal space is not always a set parameter. It changes and fluctuates. It gets small, it gets big, it gets thick, it gets light, it gets cluttered, it gets cleaned. It's kind of like a bedroom or an office, but it's your personal space. And energetically or information-wise, other people's information can get into your personal space and clutter you up, and then you don't perform very well. And anyway, I just want you to know that that's what personal space is. Now, here's another part to talk about being an empath. Empaths have a sense ability. They are able to sense or learn about another person. Everybody has information inside their body. Thoughts, emotions, history is inside your body. So your history, thoughts, and emotions are in your body. Your body does not contain that information. That information radiates out from you through your personal space. But it's definitely in your personal space, but it also floats out away from you. So information doesn't just stay in your head, just so you know. It's as though you have a radio tower stuck on the top of your head, and it literally is transmitting information out from you. Empaths over here have an ability of picking up on this information. And so that's how an empath can know somebody very well, is because they can tune in to the frequency of the person and be able to pick up information about them. So information traveling through the air is not new to us because of cell phones, because of internet, because of radio waves. So that travels through the air. And our brain is a receiver and transmitter. It's just people don't stop to think for a moment that our brain literally is a transmitter and receiver, which means we send out information, which means if somebody is good at receiving, then they could receive that information and interpret it and understand the person. So that's why empaths make such great coaches, is because empaths have an advantage of understanding the person's problem and also be able to find a fast solution for the person. That's why I wish I could talk to every empath in the world and encourage them to become a coach, a teacher, a facilitator, a keynote speaker, a whatever. Just be out there teaching, helping people, because empaths can tune into people's information that travels through the air, that goes from their transmitter, from their mind. It's in the air. If they have a great receiver, if this empath is healthy, their space is open, then they can be able to pick up on what other people are thinking and feeling. And not like some can actually read their minds, but most empaths can just pick up on the information. And so they have thoughts and feelings that they feel and sense, but then it gives them insight to the person and helps them fine tune their questions so that they can be more in tune. This is what in tune means. If you are going to tune into a person, this is what happens. You clear your space so that you can pick up on what other people's information is. And it's like, it's super cool to be able to help people this way. It's awesome. Now, could you be an evil person and be an empath and take advantage of people? Yeah, you totally could. But you know what happens when you die? You go to hell. So you go live with the devil. And then for eternity, you hate it. So don't be a bad person. Okay, so be a good person. But this is why you want to have your personal space cleared, is so that other people's information can come in when you want it to, and it gives you more accuracy of understanding the person and how they're doing. It's amazing. It is stinking amazing. But just so you know, everybody gives off information. Nobody can hide their information. They don't. Everybody's transmitting. Everybody's transmitting. It's crazy, but that's just how it works. It's how it works. What else do I got for you here? Most people listen to what people say. Empaths use all of their senses. All of their senses. Empaths use all of their senses to pick up on words, thoughts, tone, energy, body language, behavior. They pick up on so many different channels from the person. Again, this is why empaths make fantastic life coaches, and they do great service for the people that they work with. So if you're an empath and you are not a life coach, oh my goodness, let me just talk you into this. Because if you were well trained as an empath to be able to have your space clear so you could be in tune, and you knew what to coach them on to help them with their subconscious, people would line up to work with you, which means now you have a business, you could work from home, you're changing people's lives. They're happy to pay you because you are helping them change and solve problems, change their life and solve problems. So there's such a win-win here. And then everybody who's around this person is so happy because this person does better. And maybe this is mom, maybe this is dad, maybe this is a business owner, maybe this is the boss. Everybody's happy when this person does better. And so that's why empaths can be actually very successful as a life coach, as long as their space is clear and they've been trained on how to teach other people how to work on their subconscious. So there's some components here, but the possibilities are amazing. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. Now, as an empath, super important that you understand electronics are not good for you for long periods of time. It will actually wear down your sense ability and you'll feel dull. Electronics, traffic, high level energy sources, power lines. There's too much electricity, too many power cords. Ornery people, they just don't. It's just too much. Like, you got to watch out for ornery people. And then large groups, because your empath ability will try to tune into all of them all the time, and that can drain you. So as an empath, I had to really focus on how to work with 1,000 people and not have my empath ability short circuit. Because my empath ability wanted to tune in to every person. It's like I had to like learn and really practice and do certain things so that I could stand in front of large groups and do really good coaching the group. So if you're an empath that wants to be in front of a large group and you haven't learned how to do that, you ought to hang around me. I could totally teach you how to do that. But yeah, be careful because these can cause you to have a reaction, and then it messes with your energy field, your personal space, and then it can shrink, and then it feels really weird. When your energy space shrinks, it actually makes you feel vulnerable because your personal space to an empath is like your buffer zone. It's like this protective shield around you. But empaths who have had their personal space crushed or messed with one or more of these things, that empath will go into fear, will go into anxiety. And I've met lots of empaths who are in fear and anxiety. I'm like, oh man, your personal space has been smashed or depleted. We've got to build that personal space around you. And they didn't even know it. They had no idea why they were feeling so scared, because they got nothing to buffer them from the world. Because to an empath, this is super important to have good cushion around them with their personal space. In fact, I like to train empaths to actually enlarge their personal space. This right here, high level, confident empath, unstoppable. An empath who has large personal space, oh my goodness, they are unstoppable. They can do so much good. But most empaths don't know about what drains their energy or what harms their energy. And so a lot of empaths I meet are seriously like this. They are really struggling. And it's sad because when they're like this, they don't want to talk to people. They don't get along with their own family. They feel like something's wrong with them. But all it is that their personal space is just squished. It's just squished, and it feels tight. It feels small. It makes them feel small, makes them feel insignificant. It really plays with their psyche, because I've coached empaths over the last 17 years. And so I know when they start talking that way, it's like, oh, your personal space is squished tight. And then we have to work on that. We have to work on building that up. It's real. It's real. This is real. If you're an empath and you know what I'm talking about, you get it, don't you? You're like, oh my goodness, Kirk, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's super, super, super important there. Okay, this right here, huge to understand. On your personal space border, you want to install a filter. Just like you taught your brain how to tie a shoe, you have to teach it to install a filter. If not, other people's information will just come into your space and plug you up. It'll just come in all the time, every second of every day. Your neighbors, people down the street, people on TV, all this will come in and just literally clutter you up. Just like you teach your brain to tie a shoe, you have to teach your brain to install a filter. And that filter, what that means is you're going to teach your brain, keep everybody's information on the edge of my personal space. Don't clutter my space with their information. Hold it on the edge. And literally draw this picture, or just take a picture. Draw this picture, teach your brain every day, this is what I want you to do with people's information. If I want to know this person, I will ask you to bring it in. If I don't, I'll tell you to keep it out. This way, you can feel safe as an empath. You will feel less abused, less disrespected, and you will feel like you have energy and you have space to think and you feel like you are whole and complete. Because if you just let everybody's information come in, you are going to be a scatterbrain and feel fragmented. And then that just sets you up for a bunch of tough things to deal with. So install a filter, teach your brain every day, put a filter around my personal space, keep people's information on the edge. If I need it, I'll ask for it. If not, it does not need to be in here. Teach it every day. Look at the picture, tell your subconscious every day until it starts to do it, and it will. Okay, next thing that can happen is this. Another thing for empaths, if empaths get super mad, it throws up a wall between them and other people. So when empaths get upset, a wall goes up. And guess what that means? You can't sense people when you get mad. And now you're going to feel really weird because you can't sense people. It's like you feel like you're like halfway dying. You'll really feel like something's wrong with you when you are mad, upset, super frustrated, scared. Any of those negative emotions, if you go too far with them, bam, this wall goes up. Because you can't handle other people's information coming in because you're so bent out of shape with negative emotions. And so your gift will turn off. And that's a freaky feeling. And I meet empaths who are like, Kirk, I lost my gift. And it's like, no, you're just mad. Who are you mad at? And then we have to do some emotional management to clear out the mad, the frustration, the anger, the disappointment. And then when those emotions leave, those emotions get out, then all the stop signs and the wall goes away. Oh, now you're back to sensing people. Now you feel better. But you have to do some emotional management work to clear the space. So if you're walking around mad or scared or freaked out, it's because your space, you got mad at somebody, it turned it off, and now you can't sense people. You need to do some emotional cleanup to be able to drop that wall. Good to know? Cool. Okay, so you as a coach, let me just ask this question. Are you learning something? Click the raise the hand button if you're learning something. It's on your Zoom bar. Just click the little hand if you're getting something from this. Yeah? All right, cool. A whole bunch of you just raise your hand. Super good, super good. Okay, so people. So here you're an empath and you can have this high sensibility and you can tune into them with training and understanding and know what to coach them. Every person out there has a brain and a heart. Everybody's got one. And they get a little messy and they need to be cleaned up and they need to be organized. So people in general have a star that they are working towards. People in general have effort they put out to get to their star. And this is what it looks like. A person already has a certain thing in their life or a certain lifestyle, but they tend to want to drift towards something a little bit better. So this is the person, this is what they currently have, this is the effort, this is where they're headed. So people in general, they all have a brain and a heart, but emotions can get messy and thoughts can get out of control. Now, because of emotions being messy, this is what happens to people. They get emotionally stuck. Their emotions are messy. They need help. They need a coach that understands emotional management so that they can work through their emotions and make it to where they want to go. So this is one way that people get blocked in moving forward. And there are a lot of people, high percentage of people are emotionally stuck. This is mentally stuck. They hit a mental wall. It's because their head is out of order. It's unorganized. It's messy. It's negative. It's got stuff in there that's not serving them. And so they hit a mental wall. This person would do really well if they could work with a coach who understood mental blocks. Emotionally stuck, mental blocks. That's what I teach coaches how to do. How to help people get through emotional blocks and emotional stuck and mental blocks. Now, people are out there trying to do it on their own. People are running around trying to solve their life by themselves without a coach. But more and more people are looking for coaches. And I'm going to tell you what they're looking for. They're looking for a coach who knows about emotions. They're also looking for a coach who knows about thoughts. They want somebody who can help them on the inside. Now, remember what I've been telling you? They're looking for somebody who actually can look below the surface. Below the surface or inside from the surface, right? Somebody who can go here. So when people finally realize they can't change, they know it's not a surface thing anymore. They know something's deeper. And so if you're thinking about becoming a life coach, make sure you get training on how to be a good empath. Make sure you get training on the subconscious. Make sure you get training on emotional stuck and mental walls and how to get people lined out so that they have a plan. So yes, empaths get to learn how to be structured. I know it sounds weird. It's like, what? Empaths are going to be structured? Do those two words even go together? Yeah, they actually do. I was going to find this screenshot where I wrote this. I am a structured empath. Doesn't that sound crazy? It sounds so crazy, but that's what I do. I've learned how to become structured so that I can help people get organized and help them take steps, but I'm also an empath, which then I can still sense and understand their information and help them work on the real problem, not the surface problem. And I got to tell you, if you have empath tendencies, man, I could make you a great coach. I could make you a really good coach because you already have the intuitive side. The intuitive side is the hardest thing to learn. It's because if somebody's not an empath, it is tough to learn the intuitive side. You can do it. It just takes really great focus. And it takes about 3 to 4 months of practice. Because I've coached people personally. I've had personal clients who said, I'm not intuitive, put me through it. What do I got to do? And we were able to unlock their intuitive side and actually open up their empath side, which was beautiful. But it was really intense. But they did the work. So it's possible. But if you're an empath or you're an intuitive, you have like the best part. Maybe you need to clean up your personal space. Maybe you need to, get your own subconscious in order. Maybe you need to learn some skills. Man, I'm here for you. I am here for you. Serious, I'm here for you. That's what I do now. That's my thing is I teach people how to use their gift, get organized, and get out there and change the world. It's like, let's do this. So don't put this off. Okay, so here's part of my getting organized, right? So there are certain components of being a coach. There's your confidence. There's your program, how you connect to people, if you can enroll people, and if you can work with clients, and then you create a win, win, win. Now, why 3 wins? Well, they win, you win, and then the people that are around them, they win too. Like there's so many people who win because that person decided to get a coach and they get to work with you. So we want to create a 3-way win with whoever you coach. And that means you got skill, you got learning, you know how the techniques work, you know the order of the techniques, you understand the subconscious, so many good things. But there's actual an order in how to do this. Now, some people struggle with confidence. I'm going to put a big blotch on that. They struggle with confidence. Some people don't have content. They're like, I got nothing to teach, Kirk. I just want to help, but I have no content. I get that. So maybe content is a glitch. Maybe you have money issues. Most empaths have money issues. So crazy. I had money issues. I did. I did. I figured it out. So maybe you have some money issues, or you have a struggle asking to be paid. I can help you with that. I've helped lots of people with that. And so that we can adjust that so that you can actually do this as a career. You could do this as a full-time thing, as a part-time thing. Do it from home, coach people from home, have an additional income for your family, for your kids. Get out of debt, pay your bills off. Go out to dinner, buy your kids some new shoes. Get that new laptop. I mean, there's lots of people to coach. They would be happy to work with you. Some people don't know how to work with clients, but you're an empath, so you can engage with people, right? So we got yourself a trophy right there. And you're here right here. So 2 trophies, 4 glitches. So we would want to clean this up with you. We'd want to take a look at, okay, why is your confidence getting shot? Why is your program not together? Maybe I could help you, or my team could help you build your content. I can train you on how to enroll people so it's not weird. And then also show you how to work with clients. Then we could actually put trophies on each one of these. And man, we could do that. What? That would be just so sweet, right? That'd be awesome. Clear off these glitches. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. And I would do this with you too. I can help you. You don't need to do this by yourself. You don't have to do the do-it-yourself thing. No, don't try to figure this out by yourself. As an empath, there's so many interesting pieces to this that you will miss. Believe me, I've done this for 17 years. Let's just work together and make this happen in a great way. But that's what I want for you is trophies all the way across, so that you can feel organized and you feel really good at how you coach people. Okay, so let's talk about this one right here. This one tends to be the worst spot, is money for an empath. Money and program. Well, actually, and confidence. I'm going to put glitches on all those right there. Those three tend to be the big sore spots that I run into. So let me talk to you about money here just for a moment. You ever seen one of these? It's a lemonade stand, right? And what's up with the lemonade stand? It's a business. Look, there's a product, lemonade. Look, there's a price. Look, I'm a paying client. Look, they have marketing. They have their banner up. This is so funny. It's a business and they're making money. They made a lot of money. You see that jar over there on the left-hand side, the little blue one? They made a ton of money doing this. so they can set up a lemonade stand. So can you. But the tough part is about, what do you price things out at as a coach? So I'm going to stretch your mind here. Be prepared to be stretched. Okay. Listen closely. I went to this lemonade stand, but before I got out of the car, seriously, see my car door over there by my hand holding the lemonade? When we pulled up, this little kid ran up and knocked on our window and stuck his hand in the window and said, "Give me the money." We busted out laughing. It was like, that's how you do it. There you go. Your training's over. Give me the money. It's so cute. As a kid, it was like, wow, he's learning fast as a kid. Of course, we got out, paid for our lemonade, got our cup of water that was half full with sugar. But money, it trips up empaths pretty bad because empaths are all about people. They're all about people. And empaths have a tendency to forget about money. It's just not on their mind. They're so about helping people, they forget the money side. So they forget about it. And then because they don't have money, then they fall behind in their bills or they're always struggling with it. And so then what happens is that there's a bunch of negative comments or negative thoughts attached to money. But there could be a lot of positive attached, but it just doesn't happen that way because it tends to be short in supply. And when somebody says, "Oh, you should sell your program," it just feels weird to say, "Sell your help." Because empaths just want to help. They don't want to sell their help. That's weird. It's like, why charge people money? That means you're going to take their money. So there's some strange psychology that goes on inside empaths' minds. But I've learned how to walk people through that so that they are open to receive money. Because if an empath could be open to receive money that people are happy to give them, you hear me on that? They're happy to give them. An empath will never be broke. They just won't. Empaths do so much good if they could just be open and allow money to come to them, open to receive. People would be happy to pay them. I'm not kidding. I have seen clients of mine go from struggling with money to doing very well every month and just tickled that they could pay off their dentist bill, pay off their student loan, pay off their cars, pay things off, and then have money to help people with money. It's a whole different ballgame when they're like, wait a minute, I have money and I don't have bills. I'm out of debt. I really believe that the gift of being an intuitive or an empath is so that you can not have to worry about money because you have plenty and you can help people with money. You could serve people. You can hire people. You could build a team. You could buy equipment to do recordings. I mean, you could write books. You got people editing your books. I mean, there's so many things you could do. So many things you could do because you have the gift. You have the gift of listening. And people are looking for someone to listen to them because you can hear the information and you can tune into it where other people can't. You are so needed in this world. Really, really, really needed. Okay, so I'm going to stretch your brain here just a tiny bit, but I do have to give a disclaimer. Even though I say you can make $10,000 in a month, it does take work. This is not a magic thing. It's not just like, oh, poof, you have it. You have to learn, you have to practice, you have to train for this. But that's what I do is I train people, and based upon their efforts and what they do and what they don't do, then they get their own results. Okay, there's my quick disclaimer on this. But let me just remind you, as an empath, you're going to share, teach, and serve others. That's the most important part. If you could open up to allow money to come to you, I have a pre-written coaching program. It's called the Essentials of Self-Mastery. And in a program I have called Coach Fast Track, if you decided to get into my Coach Fast Track program, you would get a license to use this coaching program, because I want you to be out teaching and I want you earning money so you can pay off your bills. You can have money. You can then relax on the money side, focus on people, because your bills are paid off and you can now focus even a higher level on people. So I'm going to walk you through what is called a coaching package. And I'm just going to show you what this looks like. So I have a program called the Essentials of Self-Mastery. There are 7 appointments to choose from, but this particular coaching package that you would offer would have 5 appointments. You would use video conferencing. You would work from home. You would hold 1 appointment of those 5 appointments each week with this client that you've enrolled. So this would be a 5-week commitment on their part and your part. And this is a coaching package. Each appointment would be one hour each. The total of that package would be $750. You then would be making $150 per hour. I don't know about you, but if you've gone looking for a job recently, can you walk into a job interview and say, I would like to make $150 an hour? And they just jump up for joy and go, yeah, we'll pay you $150 an hour. That doesn't happen. But to have a coaching program with 5 appointments with the content I've been using for 17 years, it's my coaching program, Essentials of Self-Mastery. It's my coaching program. You would get a license to this. You would learn how to teach this. Out of those 7 appointments, you would choose 5 of those particular topics to teach this client of yours. The client would pay you $750. You would have 1 appointment every week for 1 hour, and you would make $150 per hour. But Kirk, why would they pay me $750? Because this person is at the bottom. This person's at the bottom. Let me scroll back here to the front. This person is a business owner who is slipping. They're right here. They haven't hit the bottom yet. I think I said the bottom, but they're slipping and they know something's wrong. And they heard you talk about the subconscious and they're like, oh, I need help. And you're like, yeah, we've got to work on your subconscious because you got stuff in your past that's coming to the present and it's making a mess and you're having these problems and your business isn't working. Let's reroute your mind to a better result. Let's do that. And they're like, yeah, I want to do that. And you're like, she showed him this diagram and you said, yeah, the subconscious is more important than all of this. All of this is important, but this is more important. And so this person's like, wow, this makes so much sense. I'm going to hire you. So they hire you. And then these 5 appointments, each one of them, you're teaching them about how to change their subconscious. And they're excited. They are so tickled that it's only $750. And then you're making $150 per hour. What? That's amazing. I don't know about you, but $150 an hour, it's like, what? Are you serious? Okay, so let's just do a little bit of math. Now, remember, I'm stretching your thinking. Just let me stretch you just for a moment. So part-time, let's say you had 2 appointments a week like this. 2 appointments a week. You found clients and you now are doing 2 appointments a week. 2 appointments a week times 4 weeks. You now are making $1,200 a month extra on top of whatever you currently have. $1,200. Do you know what that would do? That would pay for some groceries. It would pay for this higher gas pricing that's going on. It would help you catch up on some bills. And I bet you could even go out to dinner where you want to go. And you are holding 2 appointments a week. This is part-time. So I just want to put some math in front of you, along with everything that I've trained you on, of what the possibilities are for you. Now let's go full-time at this pricing. Now let's say you're doing 5 appointments a week. That's 1 appointment a day. If you're a stay-at-home mom, or if you recently lost your job and you're at home and you're like, oh, how can I do this? And you're like totally in on this, let me train you how to do this. So if you held 1 appointment Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 appointments times 4 weeks, you are bringing in $3,000 a month. And you are at home doing 1 appointment a day for 1 hour. And you're bringing in $3,000 at $150 an hour with a package of $750. I don't know about you, but that's amazing. And you're teaching people. You're changing people's lives. You literally are changing people's lives. And when I say changing people's lives, what I mean is like you are helping them turn. You're helping them not hit bottom, or you're helping them off the bottom. You're like doing serious work with people, like really, really valuable work with people. So I don't know about you. I get excited about this. And then if you're like, well, what am I supposed to do within that hour? Well, here's how you divide up the hour. I'll teach you how to do this. You don't have to know what to do. I'll teach you how to appropriate. Is that the right word? Appropriate the time of the hour so you're efficient. I mean, I'll teach you every aspect of this. Okay, let's move it up a little bit. Now let's say, did I go the right way here? Yeah. Now let's say, oh, wow, this is a big jump. I forgot that I did such a big jump. So now let's say you're still using the same program, Essentials of Self-Mastery, a pre-written program that's I've been using for 17 years. Now you're going to have 10 appointments. Now there's 7 of these that I've created, but you're going to learn so much content from me. You will easily have plenty to teach for 10 appointments. Instead of being 1 hour, you're going to do 2 hours because the price is higher. Now your package is $5,000. So now you're making $250 per hour because it's 2-hour appointments, not 1 hour. And the package is $5,250 per hour. So let's do the math again. So let's say you did this professionally part-time. It's because it's a $5,000 package. So you're going to do 2 appointments a week, but they're 2 hours. You're going to bring in you're bringing in $2,000 a month. Or you could do this full-time and have 1 appointment every day, Monday through Friday. You're going to bring in $5,000 a month. And you're doing 1 appointment a day for 2 hours. 1 appointment a day for 2 hours. But Kirk, you have to go find all these people. Right. And there's a lot of people out there who need help. And the more organized you are, the more practice you are, the more confidence you have, you will have clients. I've been doing this for 17 years. And have never run out of clients. Okay, if I've never run out of clients, you can do this too. Okay, one more stretch. Now let's take it to 10 appointments, 1 appointment each week, 2 hours each appointment. Now the package is $10,000. But you're thinking, how am I supposed to do $10,000, Kirk? Well, this is because you are so experienced as a coach. You're really good at your empath gift. You're really good at problem solving. And people are like tickled, grateful. It's only $10,000. Now you're making $500 per hour. So let's do this experienced professional part-time. It's kind of a mouthful. 2 2-hour appointments a week. 2 2-hour appointments a week. Times 4 weeks. That's $4,000 a month. That's 2 appointments a week. Then let's go to the next one. You're going to do 1 appointment a day for 2 hours with the content I'm going to train you on and give you. You don't even have to come up with the content. 5 appointments. So 1 appointment Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for 4 weeks. You're only doing 1 appointment. You could do it first thing in the morning and then have the rest of the day off. For 4 weeks, you now are bringing in $10,000 a month. So you're bringing in $10,000 a month. You're following the template of how to hold an appointment. We are building for you your confidence through practice. You are helping people turn from going down into the pits, coming up out of the pits, or you are helping people who are on the verge take off and get their goals. Or you're helping people avoid falling. Anywhere across this scale, you're making a difference. And what you're being compensated makes a difference for your family. I have seen the most incredible miracles happen in people's lives when they decide to activate their gift. But you can't do that, Kirk. Can't do what? You can't use your gift and be paid for it. So why does a landscaper get paid? Isn't that a gift? Why is a mechanic paid? Isn't that a gift? Why are artists paid? Isn't that a gift? And I could go on and on and on. There is a long list of people who are paid directly for their gifts and their talents. There's a long list. You have a gift that is inside you. Do you realize that as you have been hoping and praying, I don't know if you pray, I'm just going to say that you pray, but let's say you've been praying and you've been hoping for a way financially to take care of things. And here I am in front of you saying, I can train you and you can help people and you can make an impact and you can make changes in people's lives and you can live your purpose and be paid for it. It's a gift, just like a landscaper, just like a mechanic, just like an artist, just like an author, just like any person who has any gift and talent. It's okay for you to be paid for your gift. There's a lot of people in the world. And with technology, you can coach people anywhere in the world. Anywhere. It's like you literally are sitting in a spot right now in your life to help as many people as you have confidence to do and earn as much money as you have confidence to do. And if you lack confidence, I will teach you mindset techniques. If you don't know how to enroll, I'll teach you how to enroll. If you don't have content to teach people, I will give you content to teach. If you have an idea for a coaching program, my team will build your coaching program for you so you can go offer it and be paid for it and change people's lives. Like 3 key elements is here. My company is here to help you live the way you're designed to live at a higher level. Like we are committed to you being successful doing this. But all I need to do now is come over to your house, right? All I got to do is come over to your house and be like, hey, let's get started. Let's do this. So this is where I'm heading with this. I have this incredible journey called the Coach Fast Track Program. It's a beautiful experience. It is all about everything I just showed you. Content, training, empath training, confidence building. It's all here. This has got to be the best program I have ever written in my entire life. And the reason why it is the best is because my whole team was part of writing it. I'm going to have tears right now about my team. All the other programs I've ever written, I've done by myself. But God got a hold of me and said, you got to let people help you. There's something bigger you got to do. So I listened. We took everything we know. We took the best of everything and we put it into this program. So the big parts are, if you have ideas, we'll help you build your content. We have this incredible, detailed, very well-packed online training course. I have the Essentials of Self-Mastery content you can start with. I will be coaching you every week for 12 weeks. Empath training, money mindset training, and the list goes on and on and on. If you have ever thought about being a coach, we are here for you. And especially if you are an empath, because I understand you. I understand what you're going through. And I bet I understand the things that you don't even know that are going on inside of you. So my team will help you build your content. The training site is top notch. The content I have for you to work with to teach people is fantastic. But out of this whole entire experience, the thing I care about the most is that you get to finally pull yourself together. That you literally can pull yourself together and put the pieces in the right spots so that you can feel like you are finally whole and complete in living your mission. If you're interested in making a change in people's lives, whatever stage that they're in, if you're ready to be part of this and you want to have a training like this and be part of our movement of what we're doing, I'm not asking you to be an employee. I'm not asking you to be on my sales team. I'm asking for you to step into what you've been designed to do and not put it off and not hide your gift and do something about this. Do something about this. Learn how to do this. Get organized. Be more prepared to serve people. And yes, in this program, I will share with you how to find clients because I haven't ran out of clients in 17 years. So I will teach you what I've done all the way through. We're here for you. So this is what you do. Go to 3ke.to/fast track. Go there. Then when you're there, you're going to answer some questions and you're going to book a call to hear the rest of the details about the program. I gave you a nice little brief overview, but if you're interested and ready to take action, there's some incredible things that can happen for you here very quickly. Because if you do this now, if you do this and book a call within the next 24 hours, I have a certain amount of a scholarship that can be applied to your tuition. That's what you got to book a call though within 24 hours. That means you can't do it now, do it tomorrow morning, right? But do it as soon as you can so that you can have that certain amount applied to the tuition and you can have that scholarship applied. So it will reduce the tuition because you were here with me tonight. And because you stayed here to the end, you know about the scholarship. And so apply. And if you're like, well, Kirk, how much is the scholarship? I'll tell you, it's $2,000 scholarship. That means $2,000 off of the tuition. That's a big chunk. It's amazing. And all the way through this, I hope that you can see that you definitely can get a return on your investment. Let me go back here to the very first screen. Let's go back to this one. Look at this. What if you learned how to do this? What if you did this? What if $1,200 a month. That means you're earning money back. This is not something you just learn and then you just sit on. No, you're going to learn these skills, use these skills, get great at these skills. Start out with this package right here of $750, $150 per hour. And then based upon how much you want to grow, we can grow from there. And if you want to bump up from $750 for the package to $1,200 to $2,000, well, then that amount goes up. I'm not going to find your clients for you. I'll teach you how to do it, but you got to do the work. And I'll tell you right now, there is not enough qualified coaches out there. And when I say qualified, I mean empaths. Empaths are the secret to coaching. And if you have that intuitive side, that empath side, wow, do you have an advantage? So what you do, go to, or you can scan that QR code. It'll take you to the right spot, or you can type in 3ke.2/fast track. And a video is going to pop up of Cody, and Cody's going to ask you some questions. And then you answer those questions, and then it gives you a calendar to choose a time to jump on a phone call and to hear the rest of the details. How much the class is, what are the lengths of times for the different parts of it, how soon you can start. But just know that I am the head trainer of this program, and my whole intention is for you to have paid clients. And we pull you together. Because if you feel good when you go to bed at night and your confidence is building, you will talk to people. And naturally, it will turn into a client experience. And you can always coach people for free. But how about you get everything paid off? How about we catch up your accounts? How about we help you have money to serve people in that capacity? There's so many good things you can do if you had some money to be able to help people with that. It's okay. It's okay to allow them to pay you. They'll be happy to, because of the changes that you're making in their life. Cool, huh? All right, cool. So go here, book a call, and get the rest of the details so you can make a decision. And I really do hope I get to work with you and talk to you on our coaching that we do every week for the Coach Fast Track program, and that you get a chance to learn these things. And you know what you're going to learn, you're going to use for the rest of your life. You know it. This is like the thing to learn. The subconscious, the conscious, the techniques. This is where you really want to focus. Because as time goes along, people are they're hiding their stuff. They're hiding their stuff on the inside of them. And what's going to happen is, let me find there it is. What's going to happen as people continue to hide what's under the surface, it's going to get to a certain point where it's just going to pack tighter and tighter inside of them. And then what's going to happen is they're either going to implode or explode. And right now, there are some people who are exploding because they have so many emotions and thoughts packed deep down inside of them. But there's a lot of people also imploding. They're not talking to each other. The spouses are not talking. Lots of fighting and arguing at home. Teenagers not talking to their parents. Just a lot of communication issues. And it's because of what's happening underneath the surface. And those people are going to be looking for coaches. And they're going to actually really seriously be looking for you. So let's get you prepared. Let's get you prepared, get you trained, and so that you're ready to go to be able to have a way of being self-reliant. What if other methods out there to have jobs it goes away? What if you could actually now have your own in-home business that you could actually work with people and you could do transactions with people and you don't have to rely on trying to find a job? And here you've learned how to help people where it really counts. That's going to make you very valuable. So moving forward, this is a smart choice. It's something that you will use and that people will do exchanges with you. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Because there's a lot of people out there And there's not enough, like I said, not enough great coaches out there that have that intuitive side. They're great coaches, but they just don't have that ability to be in tune like you can be. Super cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed this experience. I hope you got some notes. If you wrote down more than a page of notes, click the raise the hand button for me. You got more than one page? I was hoping so. That was my plan. That was my plan. Oh, man. So, Kirk, will you email? I'm going to look at some of the questions here really quick. Kirk, will you email record? Oh, 13 pages of notes? What? You're crazy. That's amazing. I don't know if there's going to be an email going out about this, a recording about this or not. My team is taking care of that. So that I don't know. Write down this. And oh, Greg, you're saying you jumped on a call. Can I still get the tuition scholar yeah, Greg, book a call. Seriously, book a call, Greg. I just saw your message. Book a call and then just make sure who you talk to on the phone, make sure that you tell them that I mentioned this scholarship so that they can apply that scholarship. Cool. All right. Very cool. All right. I got to skedaddle, you guys. Great to be with you. Don't hesitate. Go book a call. Let's get you started. No more hiding. No more hiding. People are out there praying for you. They're looking for you. And God's prodding you, and you know it. All right. Super cool. Thanks for showing up here tonight. And I hope we see each other again. All right. Love you guys. Thanks.